Hello everyone, this is Math by Matt, and in this video I'm going to explain what are the fractions. I think you've seen a number such as 1/2 or 3/4 or 5/8, and you were wondering what might this mean. So in this video I'm going to explain what is this. So a fraction essentially is a part of something. So let's imagine we have a pizza. If we cut pizza into 4 different parts, for example, the one part of it is going to be 1/4. Or if we cut it into 2 parts, one part is going to be 1/2. Because pizza is divided in 2 parts and we get one part of it, so it's 1 divided by 2. So it's mostly a division. Before going into certain types of fraction, I should clarify what are the numerator and the denominator is. Numerator is the number of parts that we have, and denominator is the total amount of parts. So when we divide something with fractions, number on the top is going to be numerator and the number on the bottom is going to be denominator. There are certain types of fractions that exist. First is a proper fraction, when numerator is less than denominator. For example, 3/5. We have one thing that is divided into 5 parts, and we get 3 parts of this whole 5 parts. Improper fraction, on the contrary, is when numerator is bigger than denominator. For example, 5/3, it's bigger than 1, because 1 is 3/3. It's the same as 3/3, because it's 3 divided by 3. And in addition to this 1, we get another 2/3, because it's 3/3 plus 2/3, so we get 5/3. And improper fractions are connected to mixed fractions, because mixed fraction is the same as improper fraction but written with the whole amount of parts in the beginning. So 5/3 is essentially 3/3 plus 2/3, so it's one whole thing plus 2/3, because 1 is 3/3 and we get 2/3 in addition, because 1 is 3/3. Let's also consider what are the equivalent fractions. 1/2 is equal to 2/4, because in 2 we can fit 2 ones, and in 4 we can fit 2 seconds, because and so essentially all these 3 fractions are the same. They're all equal to 1/2, because in the denominator we can fit numerator twice, so it's the denominator is twice less. So it's always every time it's gonna be 1/2 in this example. And for this thing we should always be able to have simplify the fractions. So from 2/4 we should be able to get 1/2 by just dividing both numerator and denominator by 2. We should find the number that can divide both numerator and denominator, if such exists, and divide by it, so we can just solve exercises easier. Or for some exercises we should multiply it, so we get the same denominator. Let's see what tasks can be solved with fractions. 1/4 plus 2/4 is addition. When we add something, we should consider that the denominators should be the same. And if they are the same, we should just add the numerators. So 1 plus 2 is 3, and their denominator is 4. It stays the same. It's 3/4. Subtraction, for example, if we get this example, 3/2 minus 1/4. How do we solve this exercise? In either addition or subtraction, we should make sure that we have the same denominator. So how do we get, for this fraction, how do we get a denominator 4? We should 2 is twice less than 4, so we should multiply it by 2. And so for the fraction to be the same, we should also multiply the numerator by 2. So we get 6/4 minus 1/4. As you can see here, it is going to be equal to 5/4, or as I told you, with mixed fraction is 1 and 1/4. So we should, to be able to solve addition or subtraction exercises, we should make sure that the denominator is the same. For multiplication, it's pretty simple. We should just multiply the numerators and the denominators. So 3 halves times 2 sevenths is going to be 3 times 2 divided by 2 times 7. It's 6 14th or 3 sevenths, because they are both divided by, they both can be divided by 2. So we should do this. Division is a very important concept with fractions, because for division, we should consider the second fraction that we divided by, that we divide the first fraction by. When we divide one fraction by another fraction, we should flip the second fraction and multiply by the flipped fraction. So how does it work? Let's say we have an example, 7 halves divided by 3 fourths. We should, 7 halves stays the same. We flip this fraction, so 3 fourths become 4 thirds, and we multiply by this flip fraction, and so we apply here just the rules of multiplication, 28 6 or 14 thirds. This is going to be our answer. Always remember that if you can simplify, it means that we can multiply both numerator and the denominator by the same number. You should always do this. So let's solve some exercises. What's going to be 1 half plus 3 fourths? So here, because it's an addition, we should put it by this, put here the same denominator, which is 4. 1 half is 2 fourths, so if we can put it right here, that 1 half plus 3 fourths is going to be the same as 2 fourths plus 3 fourths, which is 5 fourths, or 1 and 1 fourth. Let's see the next example. 5 halves divided by 3 fourths. Here, as I said, we should flip this fraction, so it becomes 4 thirds. 5 halves times 4 thirds. We can see that here we multiply it by 4, and then we divide it here by 2. So in these fractions, it's just the same as multiplying it by 2, because we divided by multiplied by 4 and instantly divided by 2. And because 4 is twice as bigger as 2, it's simply the same as multiplying it by 2. So here, even before multiplying, we can just cross this right here, it's multiplication by 2, and cross this 2 out, because just mentally see that if we multiply something by 4 and then we instantly divide it by 2, is going to be the same as just multiplying it by 2. So it's 5 times 2 divided by 3. As I said, we crossed out the 2 because we already divided 4 by it, and we get 10 thirds, or 3 and 1 third. I hope you were able to understand fractions from this video, and thank you for watching.